Jamie, we got you a new helicopter. Yeah. We're going to put city on the side.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Good morning, everyone. It truly is wonderful to see so many be here with us today. My name is Nina Tangri, and I am the Member of Provincial Parliament here in Mississauga-Streetsville and Ontario's Associate Minister of Small Business. It's an honour to be here with each and every one of you today, and we are joined by Premier Doug Ford, the Solicitor General Michael Kerzner, Chief Nish Duriyappa, Mississauga Mayor Carolyn Parrish, Brampton Mayor Patrick Brown, and Regional Chair Nando Ainika. It's really great always to have the presence of my caucus colleagues, Rudy Cusetto, Deepak Anand, Sharif Sabawi, Minister Natalia Kusundova-Bashta, Prabh Zakaria, Graham McGregor, Hardeep, Minister Michael Ford, Minister Kinga Surma, Minister Charmaine Williams, Minister Vijay Thanagasalam, Amarjot Sandhu, Z. Hamid, Lorne Coe, Patrice Barnes, and Honourable Sylvia Jones. Our government has been working hard for the people of Mississauga and Ontario, including significant investments to keep our communities safe. With the funding in guns and gangs and with auto thefts, we are working very, very hard to help our regional polices. So with that, I would like to introduce the Chair of the region, Nando Ainika, to the podium. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning and welcome to Peel Region. I'm wearing a few hats today. First of all, on behalf of Mayor Parrish, who Premier tells us she already has an excellent working relationship with you, and I'm not surprised. But she was here earlier. She had to run. I have the privilege of being the chair of the region of Peel, and I'm also chair of our Police Services Board, and our whole board is here as well. I'm going to be really brief because it's the same old when I'm with the Premier and his ministers, and repeat how good they've been to Peel Region, especially our police services. Premier, we know you have a very warm spot in your heart for Peel Regional Police and all the police services. And between Minister Kerzner, between our guardian angel, the Deputy Premier, Ms. Sylvia Jones, who looks after us in Peel, we truly are blessed in Peel. And Premier, every time you come and your team comes, you come bearing gifts in Peel. Here's just another one on another marvelous initiative, Chief, and the Premier and the whole team here with regards to crime and what we're doing to control crime. And I'm going to be brief because I know, Premier, we're going to have you out again very, very soon for a sod turning on one of the Premier's most important projects, our PTSD Centre in Peel, for officers and first responders that are so near and dear to the Premier. So to Premier and everybody, another red letter day here in Peel, where our friends from the provincial government keep standing by our side and serving us so well on behalf of all Peel residents. Premier, and to your team, thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Nando.
On behalf of the City of Brampton, I want to thank Premier Ford and his government for today's exciting announcement. There's one thing I hear about in Brampton, and I'm sure it's common throughout the GTA and Peel region, it's concerns about public safety. You know, I got a call from a family that had their car stolen. Literally, someone knocked down their door, the kid's asleep in the house, demanding the keys by gunpoint. And I hear those stories too often. One of the things I love about Premier Ford is that again and again he has the backs of law enforcement, making sure they have the tools to do their job. Organized crime is incredibly sophisticated, and if we're going to beat organized crime, we need to make sure that law enforcement is just as sophisticated. And what's exciting for me right now is there's a number of initiatives taking place to really tip the scales, to make sure that our chiefs have the tools to do the job, to make sure that public safety wins. And I look at this helicopter, and I know many of us are sweating today because of the heat, but I'm sure the sight of that helicopter is going to make organized crime sweat a little too. You know, for those who have been able to run away from the scene of a crime, knowing that police have to be very careful about racing on city streets, this is going to change the game. Having this tool is a major asset for the police chiefs across the GTA and, of course, the OPP. And so, once again, when there is a need for public safety, when there's a need for law enforcement, this government always steps up. And so excited to have this new tool for Chief Nish, and I know locally he'll make sure it's used in the most urgent circumstances. But to the Premier for making sure that we have this, and it's funded completely provincially. Thank you for this key tool for public safety. A great day here in Peel Region. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Minister Tangri, Chair Unica, Mayor Brown, and Mayor Parrish, and good morning to everybody. And I want to especially convey my thanks to Premier Ford and the entire provincial caucus for being here today in Peel Region. This is a very important day for us in policing and for our many police chiefs across the GTA and Ontario that are here with me right behind me. It's a historic announcement for us. Today, Premier Ford and the Government of Ontario will announce a significant investment that will provide vital tools to support our frontline officers and further enhance the safety of our communities, not just here in Peel Region, but right across the Greater Toronto Area. We have seen here in our region, in the GTA, and right across Ontario, as you will all know, a significant increase in auto thefts, carjackings, shootings, and violent crimes. The need for strong collaboration between police services has always existed, but it's critical for us in our ability to arrest the criminals and protect our communities. In responding to violent crimes in progress, locating an armed suspect, finding a missing person, and someone in crisis, minutes are extremely critical and seconds count. The effectiveness of police helicopters and air support right across the world has repeatedly demonstrated that in police response and investigations, there is absolute value. This is one more tool, and can I say a critical tool, available for our officers to respond more effectively to emergency calls. Today's announcement is a great example of what can be accomplished when police services and the provincial government work together to improve police response and to keep our communities safe. Let me tell you, this investment from the province directly supports our frontline officers and our operational response, and also increases the safety of our officers, which is paramount to all of us. On behalf of the members of Peel Regional Police and our partner agencies, we are absolutely grateful to Premier Ford, Solicitor General Michael Kerzner, Deputy Minister Di Tommaso, and the entire provincial government for their leadership and commitment to public safety. This will have long-lasting impact on our community and our officers. I'd also like to thank our MPPs, our regional councillors for the region of Peel, our Peel Regional Police Services Board for continuing to advocate for the necessary resources to address these emergent issues that are facing Ontario and our communities. In Peel, we will work together alongside our communities and all of our partners to ensure the safety and well-being of everyone. Thank you.
Good morning. OPP Commissioner Thomas Creek sends his regrets that he's not able to attend this significant announcement today. Let me start off by saying that the OPP is as honored as it is proud to be part of the new Joint Air Support Unit. We are grateful to our provincial government for enhancing OPP aviation services with these new state-of-the-art helicopters, and we look forward to supporting our valued law enforcement partners, Toronto Police, as well as Ottawa Police, with this groundbreaking new initiative. What makes it groundbreaking is that this is the first time in the OPP's history that we will be providing dedicated air support to other police services. These helicopters are not just machines. They are vital tools that further enhance our ability to protect those who live, work, and visit Ontario. From our provincial government to our policing partners, and other public and community safety advocates, a tremendous amount of work and dedication went into getting this initiative to this point. In addition, this year marks the 50th anniversary of the OPP's aviation services, making today an even more monumentous occasion for the more than 9,000 uniform, civilian, and volunteer OPP members who are committed to keeping communities and roads safe throughout the province every day. The creation of the new Joint Air Support Unit is a remarkable milestone in policing from which so many communities will greatly benefit, as there can be no greater priority than keeping the people we serve safe. Thanks to the new Joint Air Support Unit, our collective commitment to public safety will be even greater. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Deputy Dart, and to all those men and women who work day and night to help keep Ontario safe. We will always have your backs. It's an honor to be here today with so many incredible police services, civilian and sworn, friends and colleagues. And as I've said before, we've never had a government in my lifetime that has prioritized public safety more than our government, led by Premier Ford. As Solicitor General, my highest priority is the safety of the people of this province. We believe and we know that our inherent right to live safely in our own homes and communities, to see our kids off to school, to check in on our seniors and loved ones, to go to work, to play in the park, and to pray safely is something that belongs to everyone. At the start of every shift, police officers put on their uniforms with a duty to fulfill this right. And they do an incredible job fighting all forms of criminality, including auto theft. Auto theft is becoming all too common, and we have had enough. Every day in southern Ontario, we see reports of more cars being stolen, more homes being broken into, some violently, with doors being kicked in, and others as a result of a carjacking. And this is totally unacceptable. And I've said this before, to those who feel these criminal acts are okay, it is not. We will find you, we will arrest you, and we will put you out of business. We will hold the criminals to account, and we will put them behind bars where they belong. And today, thanks to Premier Ford, we are doubling down. Criminal organizations may have become more sophisticated, but so have we. Over the last short while, our government has made strategic investments to enhance and provide extra resources to our police services throughout the province to fight crime and fight it hard. And let me give you some examples. $51 million invested to fight auto theft, removing the unnecessary barriers of entry at the Ontario Police College, including wiping out the tuition fee of almost $17,000 per recruit. And we're seeing more than 600 new boots on the ground this year alone. And we're investing over $112 million in the bail compliance and warrant apprehension grant, funds that will be used to make sure violent and repeat offenders are off our streets. And just 2 weeks ago, I traveled to the Port of Montreal with our Deputy Solicitor General so I could see for myself our stolen cars. And together with my counterpart in Quebec, we will continue to advocate to the federal government to make changes on inspections of outbound containers, especially those whose suspected cargo may include stolen vehicles. I want to thank the OPP, our municipal and First Nations police services, and the Le Sûreté de Québec, who continue to work daily in recovering our stolen vehicles. To conclude, criminals think they triumph when governments do nothing. Our government, led by Premier Ford, will do everything possible because we know a safe Ontario is a strong Ontario, and our commitment to public safety is absolute and constant. Thank you. Merci. Miigwech. At this time, I would like to turn it over to Premier Ford to officially tell us why we are here today. Premier?
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Minister Kerzner, for that introduction. And, you know, I couldn't ask for a better Solicitor General. I know I had a champion before Michael, which is the Deputy Premier, Sylvia Jones, and what a great Deputy Premier, Minister of Health. And I'm thrilled to be here in the beautiful city of Mississauga. Here we go. There's a long list. I'm just going to repeat the list again. So alongside Minister Kerzner, Tangri, Sarkaria, Surma, McCarthy, Kusendova, Denegaslam, Crawford, Ford, and Williams, and MPPs, Graham McGregor, and Amarjot Sandhu, Hardeep Grewal, Rudy Cazzetto, Sharif Sabawe, Z. Hamid, Lauren Poe, and Patrice Barnes, and hopefully I didn't forget anyone. And just before I begin, I want to welcome Mayor Brown. I understand I just missed Mayor Parrish, and we did have a get-together over at the house, sat down, and what a wonderful mayor, and she wants to work collaboratively with the province and the balance of the mayors in Peel Region, and as well as Mayor Collier. And Regional Chair Nando. Nando, always good to see you, and thank you for all your hard work, not only on the Police Services Board, but also as the Chair of Peel Region. I also want to acknowledge Deputy Solicitor General Di Tommaso. You know, Deputy Solicitor General Di Tommaso, he's not in the limelight. He's not out there waving the flag, but he makes things happen. And we're very, very grateful to have him. He's one of our great deputy ministers, and we're very grateful. So thank you, Mario, for all the work that you do there. Along with Deputy Commissioner Dart that you heard from, and thank you to all the OPP, Deputy Commissioner Thompson, Chief Demkew, and Chief Marar, and Chief Stubbs, Chief Mahar, and PAO President Mark Baxter, OACP President Roger Wilkie, TPA President John Reed, and all of our policing partners here today. And of course, big thank you to Chief Nish. Thank you for hosting us here, Chief, everyone at Peel Regional Police, and everyone at the Gary W. Morden Center for hosting us. I always say it takes all of us, and I mean all of us, working together, our police services, our members of, and our members and our police officers on the front line. You know, they have one of the toughest jobs in the entire province. Putting your uniform on, kissing your loved ones goodbye, and not knowing if you're coming home. Very few jobs entail that. So we love our frontline police officers, and thank you for everything you do. Our court system, our JPs and judges, and I've just directed our Attorney General. We're going to start measuring the bail because it's out of control right now. We have some of the greatest JPs and judges in the country, and I love the justice system, the court system, but there's some that continuously give people bail. Not once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So I've directed our Attorney General, as of this morning, to start measuring how many cases versus how much bail they get out on, and not get out on, but they get bail, and then how many repeat offenders. Because what I'm hearing on the streets, they arrest someone and they're out on bail vast majority of the time just to repeat the heinous crimes. We also appreciate our border services, associations, and all levels of government to keep our community safe. We each have an important role to play. For our part, our government is making the necessary investments to ensure that our police services have the tools and the resources they need. We're getting more boots on the ground across the province, as you heard from Minister Kerzner. We're strengthening our bail system, and as Minister Kerzner outlined, we've made significant investments to tackle auto theft head on. I always say the police can't do their jobs unless we give them the proper tools to do their jobs, and the courts back them up and support our police out on the front lines there. And I want to pause here to recognize our police services for the great work they're doing on disrupting auto theft rings. Here's just a couple. In particular, I want to congratulate the OPP and the Project Vector team that recovered nearly 600 vehicles worth of approximately $34.5 million from the Port of Montreal. I want to thank York Regional Police on the success of Operation Auto Guard. that saw 56 people charged with over 280 offenses and resulted in 80 vehicles being recovered. What I'd like to do, I'd like to measure how many of those people are getting out on bail, and then I'll report back to you, because that something tells me a lot of them are going to be back out on bail to recommit the crimes. And just last week, Chief Nish announced 18 arrests in a major carjacking and home invasion investigation. I want to congratulate all of you, and I'm sure the other police departments, no matter if it's Toronto or Halton, they have the same stories. They're doing an incredible, incredible job. Message to the Prime Minister, you need to start coming up with mandatory sentencing. You go in, you kick the door in, you put a gun to someone's head, you steal their car, you need to be going to jail for 10 years, 5 years, whatever they determine. And we can't have a weak-kneed approach to this. And I've told them that personally. But folks, we know we have more work to do. Here in Ontario, a car is stolen every 14 minutes. There's nowhere in North America that have those stats. That's simply unacceptable. So today we're delivering on our promise, outlined in this year's budget, to invest $134 million to purchase new helicopters to help fight auto theft and organized crime in Ottawa and the GTA. As part of this investment in new Joint Air Support Unit, the OPP will acquire 2 new H-135 helicopters to provide support to Ottawa and the Toronto Police Services. In addition, 3 helicopters will be purchased, owned and operated by Durham, Halton, Peel Regional Police Services to support current patrols and improve response times. Friends, this new fleet of helicopters will be a massive boost for community safety. They'll help keep our highways and roadways safe from violent carjacking, auto thefts, street racing, and impaired drivers. They'll allow for faster and safer pursuits of stolen vehicles and help police locate and catch high-risk suspects. This investment is a strong message to all the criminals and thugs out there involved in violent and organized crime. People who steal cars and commit violent crimes, we're coming for you, and we'll catch you, and we'll put you behind bars. Whether we're investing in new technologies and innovative policing initiatives, fighting guns and gangs, or bringing in new recruits, our government will always be here to support our police services right across the province. I want to thank you for everyone joining us today. May God bless the men and women in uniform, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you so much.
We will now open the floor for questions.
I'm drenched.
Please come to the mic and state your name and outlet. And just a reminder, it's 1 question and 1 follow-up. First question.
Hi, good morning, Premier. It's Jessica from the Trillium.
Hi, Jessica.
I'd like to follow up on your comments about measuring bail. It sounded like you were implying that JPs and maybe even some judges are letting people out on bail too much. If that's what your statistics tell you, will you remove them from the bench?
Well, let's first measure. We can't measure. There's no measurement going on right now. I love our court system. We have some of the finest JPs and judges in the country, but we have some other JPs and judges that just think letting them out on bail is the right thing to do. It's the wrong thing to do. But we're going to be measuring, and there'll be accountability. Like I get held accountable, like the chiefs get held accountable, the court system has to be held accountable.
To follow up, can you explain to us exactly what that accountability might look like? I think some lawyers might have some concerns about the independence of the justice system under something like that.
Well, they're always independent, but who holds them accountable? How do you like someone banging in your door, put a gun to your head, and find out later that they're out on bail 4 or 5 times, and they're mocking the police in the back of the cruiser, saying, by the way, I'll be out on bail by the time you start your next shift. There has to be accountability at all levels, starting from the Premier, right from the Prime Minister, the Premier, and police chiefs, and the courts. Courts aren't exempt. They have to be held accountable for the decisions they make.
Good morning, Premier. This is Nitin Chopra from Prime Asia TV.
Hi.
Hi. Premier, when you gave a message to our Honorable Prime Minister, we have seen that you got an applaud from every single law enforcement person present here, and who is watching you live also. So where is the disconnect? Reason, everyone is praising this government, the provincial government, that you are doing investment funding for the public safety. But when we put this question in front of our Justice Minister, he said we already made 2 amendments in the bail reform in the criminal code, and last year and this year, January, and you will see the results soon. But these same announcements, these same things, and what Mayor Brown said, that he has the stories, we have the stories, every single outlet has a lot of stories. For last 3-4 years, we have seen stories and stories. Opposition leader is highlighting those stories. Where is the disconnect? What kind of changes they made in the criminal code, which we don't see the effect? And what needs to be done by the federal government, by our Justice Minister, so that these biggest gold heists, these extortionists, they are out enjoying their life, and Ontarians and Canadians are suffering. Where is the disconnect, Premier?
Yeah, great question. It's very, very simple. It's not they can't do it. They don't want to do it. If you want to do something, you've been in office for 10 years, you would have had it done. You see crime going up. Everyone's doing their polling. It's always the economy, healthcare, affordability. But guess what's number 2 is crime now. I've never seen it. Usually it's about 8. It's number 2. People don't feel comfortable going down to the subways, walking the streets late at night. And we all know that doors are being kicked in, guns are being put at people's heads, and their cars are being stolen. They don't feel safe any longer. But we're going to put an end to it. We're going to put an end to it with a collaboration with police services right across this province, all 3 levels of government. And we're going to start beating the drum on the federal government. Not only the bail reform that we came up with, and we wrote a letter, and to be honest, that's the only reason it ended up getting done, but mandatory sentences. That when you commit a crime, there's accountability, and they're going to think twice if they commit a crime and they know they're going to serve 5 years. Compare what they do here versus down in the U.S. Look at the laws down there. If you break into someone's house with a gun and put the gun to their head and then steal their car. Here, you get slapped on the wrist and you're out on bail to commit the same crime the next night. Unacceptable. We aren't standing for it anymore. And we're going to make sure that we make the appropriate changes. And I'll be pounding the federal government about mandatory sentencing.
Premier, everything is interlinked, and Premier, everything is interlinked with public safety, because safety comes first, then health comes. So many Ontarians, they have hope in you, and we don't want any government to act before the elections. Next year we may have elections. So I'll read a simple question from the Ontarians. Many of these kind of questions we got, but we don't have any answer. Question is, why individuals should pay more insurance when their cars are stolen? It's not their fault. It's government who should cover the extra premium, because citizens are already paying high taxes to protect them. If authorities are unable to do their job, they should be responsible for extra insurance or new payment increase. These are the papers many Ontarians, they send us for high premiums of their home insurance, for their auto insurance. They cannot afford. The affordability is an issue here in Canada. What is the solution, Premier? Thank you.
Yeah, another great question, and I guess Mayor Brown, you see it up in Brampton, Peel region. Their premiums, if you live there, your premiums are higher. You live in Scarborough, your premiums are higher, and they really get spread right across the entire province to balance it out. And that's something that can be resolved by throwing these criminals in jail, making sure that we stop the crimes. You go down to root cause. The reason the premiums are going up, just like you said, my friend, cars are being stolen. If we stop the cars being stolen, then the premiums should be coming down. But go to root cause, and root cause is because they're stealing the cars. And we're going to put an end to this.
Hi, Premier. Tina Yazdani with City News.
Hi.
Hi. So you touched briefly on impaired driving in this announcement. I do want to ask you about that, because 2 people in Ontario were killed in the last 2 weeks by alleged drunk drivers, and impaired driving numbers are trending upwards in the province and have been for years. Premier, will your government's alcohol everywhere policy exacerbate that problem?
No, I don't think so. You got to be responsible, right? You can go into the liquor store right now. You can go to a local Foodland up north. You have to be responsible. People know you don't drink and drive. But I'm going to hand this question over to Deputy Dart, and then over to Chief Nish. And they're on the ground. They see and they hear what their police officers are telling them. But I do like the idea about at nighttime, or Deputy Commissioner Dart can explain it. But you get a test. If you aren't drinking, you don't have to worry, right? And if you are drinking, well, you're getting towed away, and depending on the circumstances, you may be in jail. But Deputy? Yeah.
Thank you, Premier, and thank you for that question. It is a significant concern for our province, and legitimately, impaired drivers kill, and that needs to be a priority of a police responsibility, contributing to, of course, our efforts to make sure that our highways are safe for those living in Ontario as well as those visiting our province. Collectively and cooperatively, we work together with all of our law enforcement partners in an effort to combat and tackle impaired driving, whether we do that proactively through crime prevention measures, conversations that we continue and need to have, as well as enforcement efforts, and being very target specific in our efforts to combat impaired drivers.
Thank you. And just to top up Deputy Commissioner's comments, the reality is people who have perhaps addictions issues, whether it be by drug or alcohol, it's a prevalent problem which is not just a law enforcement policing issue. It's a public health issue that I think more recently in the last several years we've been more thoughtful of doing that. So some of the trends you're seeing is also a confluence of drugs as well as alcohol. So access to it not necessarily doesn't correlate to an increase in the behavior. So it is a holistic approach, but you've seen, without a doubt, with the OPP and our municipal agencies, a shift in how we approach impaired driving, particularly the OPP's recent policy of mandatory tests. In fact, here in Peel Region, anybody that gets stopped for an impaired driving, either by drug or alcohol, gets an immediate referral to a social service agency to provide off-ramps. So the solutions for the problem, back to the Premier's comments, are about the root causes which we're focused on.
Thank you for that. I just want to switch gears, Premier.
Sure.
There's been lots of talk in the past week about where public health care funding is going as your government expands pharmacist powers. Mm-hmm. Critics say this is yet another way your government is privatizing the healthcare system by putting money in the hands of these large pharmacy retail chains. How do you respond?
Disagree. We're backlogged. It's not the docs don't have a lack of customers. If I had $1 for every time someone said I need to get an appointment with my family physician, I can't get it. Over 1 million people have gone to pharmacies for 19 prescriptions, and we're expanding that. That's 1 million people that don't have to go to their family physician and tie up their office for simply something like pink eye or other areas that they need a prescription. It is one of the most popular things we've ever done. And I'm going to pass this over to our Minister of Health, Sylvia Jones, and she can get into more details.
Thank you, Premier. So as the Premier mentioned, when we made the 19 minor ailments announcement, we have now seen over 1 million Ontario residents access that service. Treating people quickly and having them have an option to go visit their primary care provider or go see their local community pharmacist is making and ensuring that we have access in the province of Ontario. And this is not new. When you look at other Canadian jurisdictions, in fact, Ontario is lagging. We are now leading Canada. We are doing the consultation currently to see what next steps we can do to ensure that people have access. But this is about convenience and access to minor ailments. Thank you.
Hi, Premier.
Hi.
Barbara with Queen's Park Briefing. I wanted to ask you about EV plans today. So Umicore, which is a global material company, they said they stopped spending on EV battery materials in one of the battery plants in Ontario. They're saying that the decision was made because of low expectations for growth in the EV market. So what do you make of that, and what does it mean for the almost $2 billion investment that the federal and the provincial government have made in EV chains?
Well, Umicore, great company. They're doing a worldwide review. That's their company. We haven't given them a penny yet, and until they start investing more, then they'll be getting funds. But EV is the way of the future. EV vehicles are up 31% worldwide, and it's going to continue to grow. As more and more people are building the infrastructure for the charging stations, as you see, literally every single day, you're seeing plazas and gas stations and other areas, rest stops, having the EV charging system, and we're building out the infrastructure. So as that builds out, we're confident that more and more EV sales will happen. But just think 31%, it's increased worldwide, and that's going to continue to grow.
Thank you for that. I also wanted to ask you about the expansion on the pharmacist scope. So the Ontario Medical Association is raising some concerns about this expansion. They are saying, among other things, that people perhaps can end up being misdiagnosed for serious illnesses as well. So what guarantees can the government give to physicians and to the public that this expansion won't worsen the state of the healthcare system? Thank you.
Thank you. So I think it's important for people to understand that we are in the consultation stage right now. While we have successfully rolled out treatment for 19 minor ailments, we are now consulting with physicians, with pharmacists, with the general public on where we can next do that expansion. And, you know, I must say that we have 26 regulated healthcare professions in the province of Ontario, all regulated to ensure patient safety and healthcare safety. And that work continues. So to suggest that there are certain healthcare professionals who don't, at their core, understand their responsibilities as a clinician is frankly a little concerning. We have those health-regulated professions to ensure that the highest quality and standards that operate in the province of Ontario will continue to operate in the province of Ontario. And I will reiterate, 1 million assessments happening in community pharmacies across Ontario suggests that the people of Ontario are very excited about these new opportunities to access care for their family and for their loved ones. Thank you.
Hi, Premier. Siobhan Morris, CTV News. I'm just wondering if you can help us understand the significant cost increase associated with these helicopters from what was announced in the budget. I know you've added one in Ottawa that wasn't planned, so if you can explain the cost and why you took the route to add the one in Ottawa.
Well, first of all, the first plan was to lease them, and then through their police services, they recommend to buy them. I think it's the best investment we've ever done in policing, and we just look forward to them going out there and making sure we keep our streets safe from the criminals out there. But that's the reason. That's the best investment we've ever done.
Why is it that the OPP is operating the new helicopter for Toronto and Ottawa rather than having those services run them themselves?
I'll let Deputy Commissioner Dart explain that.
Thank you, Premier, and thank you for the question. The OPP is currently, the fleet you see behind you are the H-135s, and we are going to continue to operate with those helicopters. They are best designed to support the provincial needs and the flying that is required of our organization. We are going to support and proud to support Toronto Police as well with their efforts, as well as Ottawa Police Service with their needs. It is the best model for the OPP, and that is the way forward for us. In addition to the success of helicopter enforcement as it relates to organized crime, we also see and benefit the value of this type of service as it relates to vulnerable persons, missing and lost persons. This is the type of helicopter that we require to meet those much broader needs as an agency. Thank you.
Morning, Premier. Liam Casey with the Canadian Press.
Hi, Liam.
Back to the cost of the helicopters. My math says it's about a $90 million increase, and so we're purchasing now instead of leasing. What can taxpayers expect the benefit to be for that extra $90 million?
Well, the benefit is we're going to keep our streets safe. We're going to stop the crime. We're going to avoid high-speed car chases and deaths, and give the police the tools that they need. You go to any major city anywhere in the U.S., specifically in the U.S., they have helicopters because, you know, they can cover a lot more ground a lot faster than police vehicles and a lot safer. So it's a great investment, and we can't wait to catch the bad guys and keep our streets safe.
You mentioned earlier the wildly different car insurance premiums across the province. 2 years ago, you pledged to end that practice, calling it postal code discrimination. Where do we stand on ending that?
Well, again, you go back to root cause. The reason they've spiked is because more cars are being stolen. It's as simple as that. We're going to make sure that we reduce the cars that are being stolen and work with the Insurance Bureau of Canada, or of Ontario too, to reduce the fees. It's pretty simple. You stop the thefts, and the insurance rates will be going down. But we're going to work hand in hand with the Insurance Bureau.
Just a slight clarification. So you're no longer pledging to end that practice, through legislation. It's more through what you just mentioned.
Well, I think we have to do everything we can to make insurance affordable across the province. The rates are determined by how many cars are being stolen, how many accidents are happening, and our goal is to reduce the insurance for everyone. So we're going to be on these the insurance companies like they've never seen before to make sure they reduce the rates.
Hi, Tyler Cheese from CBC News. I have a question for Mayor Brown.
Yep.
Mayor Brown, my French colleagues have asked if you can answer in French why it's important for your city to have a helicopter, have access to helicopters.
Je pense que c'est très important d'appuyer les policiers et je pense que cet appui par le gouvernement provincial est important pour notre chef de la policier ici ne changera pas. Et pour moi, c'est un cadeau du gouvernement provincial pour notre équipe de police ici en région de Peel. And I know Nando Yannick is from Montreal, so he may want to add to why this is great news for Peel region as well.
Yeah, plus a lot of, we have Chief Stubbs here from Ottawa. I don't think people realize how large Ottawa is geographically. It's massive. Chief, tell me if I'm wrong here, because I'm trying to remember. You could fit a Toronto, a Montreal, a Calgary, a Vancouver, and I think another city all in one area. That's a massive area to cover. And who better to cover it than the Ottawa Police in collaboration with the OPP?
Beatrice Faisman, CP24. My question is for Chief Duriappa.
Yep.
Chief, good morning. This is being pitched as something that's really going to help curb auto thefts. I know how big of a problem it is, not only across the province, but here in Peel specifically. Generally, auto thefts are viewed as kind of a low priority call just because there isn't generally violence associated. Of course, carjackings change that. So if the Premier is saying a car stolen every 14 minutes, are you really going to be sending your chopper in the air every 14 minutes to try to get these thefts in motion? And how is it actually going to make a difference?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Listen, the aircraft is a support for frontline officers who, at the moment, respond to a wide range of demands, inclusive of extremely violent, high-profile incidents like the carjacking, shootings that sometimes cross multiple jurisdictions. But it does vacillate to other crimes in progress that may not be as, notable. The reality is the value for the helicopters are that they get to places quicker. You can't have a population of 1.7 million with a high growth rate, and I just challenge you to drive through Mississauga or Brampton on a midday. It's very difficult for our officers to get places. So the aircraft, and it's been shown time and time again, anywhere it's employed, and there are municipalities already using it in Ontario as well as the OPP, the value is so tremendous, gets there quicker, increases their response times, also mitigates some of the risks that right now officers have to do on their own in terms of pursuing individuals, nighttime, daytime. So, it's exponential really in terms of that value. As well as, I'm not saying, as recently as this last week, we've had some really high profile missing individuals. And an aircraft is an absolute viable element to reducing the time it takes to find people. So the application And believe it or not, we're probably one of the largest urban centers, save and except the few municipalities that have air support in North America, to not have that tool for frontline officers. So, that speaks to the value piece, and, time will obviously tell, and we'll be able to articulate the wins. The second piece is the reason why it's a joint air support model is because I've got Chief Demkew, Chief Stubbs, deputies from Halton here. The reason is that we don't operate in a vacuum. We support each other in every possible way, and being a big amalgamated blur of municipalities, having the joint air support system will allow us to offset the needs. So, as you know, the aircraft can't be in the air all the time, but hence why we're absolutely appreciative of the Premier and the government's investment for not just one, but multiple aircrafts.
In the past, in Peel specifically, I mean, you've got Pearson Airport here, so much of your jurisdiction, you can't fly at one of these choppers through it generally. So how does that hamper, crime-fighting efforts here in Peel when it comes to using these choppers specifically?
Yeah, there will be absolutely considerations for the GTA services to be considered a flight path, but just for clarification right now, multiple helicopters, fixed-wing aircraft that are non-commercial operate right throughout our region, inclusive of Air Orange and other entities. There are considerations that the flight technicians will have to obviously consider. That might be the altitude, et cetera, and those are all part of the areas of responsibility the air support team will do. But we do not anticipate there will be any hindrance at all. In fact, we'll have full coverage really right across, if you do the math, probably 7 or 8 million people across the GTA.
Thank you. This concludes the questions for today.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. Once again, I want to thank our fine women and men, our police officers that are out there day and night. And stay safe out there. I will always have your backs. God bless you. Thank you.